what I was going to focus on when I moved to Los Angeles in 1993, in October of 93, to start working at Reason. And before the end of that first month that I worked there, there were then historic wildfires in and around L.A. That rained down ash. I mean, it was a time where you were squeegeeing, a quarter inch of ash off of your windshields from West L.A. if you parked outside for a number of days. Then came rains, which wiped out, whole massive parts of Malibu and other parts of Los Angeles, because there had been a drought for about 6 or 7 years before all of that. And then all of the vegetation was gone. And then in January of 1994, there was the Northridge earthquake. So it was not the best time to perhaps to move to Southern California.
But at least race relations were super good back then.
Yeah, you know what? They were on the upswing, as was the housing market and things like that. So, yeah, and this is something we can talk more about. I mean, L.A. is the most apocalyptic-prone city in America, if not the world. And, that's worth thinking about just as a big backdrop. But what I'm getting at is one of the first stories I wrote for Reason, actually, was about the way that Santa Monica, which really got ripped in the Northridge earthquake. It turned out there was a fault line nobody understood that actually went through Santa Monica, and it destroyed 100 buildings completely. They were red tagged, meaning that they could not be re-inhabited. They had to be taken down. 250 buildings or so in this town, which is not very big, were really severely damaged. And Santa Monica at the time had actual rent control, which has since been banned by the state, but and very, very stringent, strident zoning laws and things like that, so that if a homeowner or if a building owner took a building private or wanted to redo it, they not only had to build it with fewer housing units in it, but they had to give 25% of those units to fair market or low market rates. So it was unbelievably strangled. It was impossible to either maintain buildings or make them better in Santa Monica at that time. And in the wake of the Santa Monica, or rather the Northridge earthquake, they actually changed the laws to allow much more building to happen and pass through, what was called pass through, where landlords or building owners could actually pass through the cost of improvements on amortized schedules, depending on the type of improvement, to tenants and things like that. And that is a model going forward here. It's somewhat good to see. Gavin Newsom yesterday said that he is, suspending a bunch of hocus pocus bullshit so that people in Southern California don't get wrapped up. And the actual word he used or phrase was bureaucratic red tape in rebuilding efforts. And it's kind of like, why aren't you doing that to begin with? But this is one of the ways forward, which is allowing California to have something of a reset where it goes back to the build mentality that actually took it from being, kind of a peripheral state in America to being, the most populous state in the country after World War II. So that's, kind of what I'm focused on. If there will be a serious discussion in the uniparty state, Matt, you've written about this a lot, and it always deserves to be underscored. California is the model of single party, absolute unified control of everything. And it has been a disaster. Gavin Newsom is kind of like the American Justin Trudeau. We're a decade plus out where we seem to have capped the worst excesses of a lot of bad top-down governance, for the past dozen years or so. Will California learn from it? They have models of how to do this, and they even apparently have a governor who is really kind of an idiot, saying the right things for the most part.